welcome. How's everybody doing today? So happy to see you all. I'm feeling a lot better. I kind of got cut from work because I told my boss. Well, I wasn't. It was slow anyways, so I was like, I'll get cut. So I'm so happy to be with you guys. I love you all so much. Thank you for joining. I can't believe it's already Wednesday. It's hump day. It's raining and cold in Miami. And I know if you watch my channel, if you follow my channel, you know how I feel about the cold. Can't stand it. But I'm gonna try not to complain that much. I couldn't sleep last night because I was so congested, but I'm feeling a lot better. Other than that, um, I kind of still feel so congested if you can hear, but hopefully I'll be better by tomorrow because I have plans tomorrow night and I don't want to cancel. How's everybody doing? Let's check out the chat. Oh my gosh, look at this. Fun, fun, fun. I love the popping chat. I love when I come on chat's popping. Hello, hi Brianne, my sweetheart. Mwah, I love you so much. I'm waiting for this live. I'm sure you have been because we've been messaging during the day about this. So I'm glad you're here. I love you. I'm very grateful for you. This is your first time joining us. Welcome. How do I say your name? Your username? Deech's Lock, right? Deech's Lock. Is Deech's your dog? That's cute. 3687. What happened? So I'll get into it in a bit. Let me say hi to everybody. Thank you for joining Deech's Lock. I appreciate you. Miss J. Hi, Miss J. How are you? I'm still waiting to send me that message, please, about your business. I'm not gonna hop on about it. I just want to support you because I know what it's like to have a small business. Okay, you guys are saying hi to each other. So I'm gonna answer Deisha's Lock's question. Deisha's Lock is asking me what happened. So I don't want to say I was right, but I was right. Well, the tarot was right. My intuition was right. Oh, hi, Dee Dee. How are you, sweetheart? I'm so happy you could make it. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for you. Grateful for all of you. So thank you for joining. I'm just answering Deisha's question, Deisha Lock's question. I also have my heater on. So the last live, I had it on and you couldn't hear. So if you have it on, if you can hear it, please let me know and I'll switch it off. I'll just be cold for the next hour or so. I don't mind because I really don't mind. I'm used to it anyways. Okay, so welcome everybody. Wow, look at that. We have a really good live going. Yes, I haven't forgotten. I'm getting my okay, revamped. We'll probably okay, so I also make websites if you're interested. I also do apps. So if you ever want any advice or you want a service done, just let me know. Because that's what I do. I'm a coder. Yeah. So let's get into it. So yesterday, beginning of Aquarius season, boom, all of these documents came out like I said they would. I said they would come out around December. I think they took a little longer because Brian Friedman had to kind of push. I think he might have been Aquarius too, actually. Justin Baldoni's an Aquarius. His birthday's in 3 days. He has the same birthday as my sister. So happy birthday to Justin Baldoni. We support you. We love you. We're rooting for you. From day one, I always believed him. And people kept asking, when are these documents coming out? I said, guys, just be patient. The law takes a long time. I can't tell you my personal story because I'm working on something right now. But the law takes a long time. So just be patient. Brian Friedman means business. He has, even though he's represented somebody that I don't support, that's another story for another day. You know, lawyers sometimes have to represent people because they have to be non-biased. So, so let's not get all up in our feelings about stuff like that. But I said from day one, Brian Friedman is a very good lawyer. The truth is behind him. He has a good lawyer behind him. He has a billionaire behind him. He will prevail. He just has to stay strong. And we're coming to the end. I can feel it. We're coming to the end. And I'm so happy for him. I kind of feel similarly to how I felt about Johnny Depp, that his best days are ahead of him. And we're rooting for you, Justin. We love you so much. And don't give up. Anybody who's going through a situation like that, a toxic work situation, being bullied, all that, don't give up. We're here for you. And I'm very happy for him. So all these texts came out. I'm gonna actually kind of read them out to you. Yesterday I couldn't find any links, so I had linked in my post, community post, to Popcorn Planet because he was the only one really covering it properly. But now today I see that people are covering it too. So let's look at Blind Baby text. Black Baby, excuse me, text. I've been accurate a lot, 100%. Go back and watch my videos. I said everything's going to come out at once. I said it's going to be like Pandora's box, and they're poking, and then one day, everything's going to come out. And I also said the New York Times would be exposed too, which has happened. And they needed this to file, and I predicted a lot of stuff to come, but I predicted that he will file in a different state. He might even file in California because they have an anti-slap law. But it's not going to be New York because I've said this before. I love New York. I'm from New York. I feel like such a New Yorker. Even though I have a British accent, I grew up in England and South Africa, mostly South Africa. My parents are South African, but I feel very New Yorker. You know, New York just does something to you. I lived there for 12 years of my life. So a third of my life I lived in New York. Almost the same time as South Africa. Yeah, the same time. Almost 2 years short of the time I lived in South Africa. So, yeah, it just shapes you, you know, in New York. So I love New York. But one of the reasons I left New York is that, number one, the cold. Number two, the taxes. And number three, that even though there are judicial systems set up, they often support. I mean, this doesn't really pertain to me, but I would just see it happening around me, and it made me feel uncomfortable. You know, situations like this where you can tell judges they're not bought out, but they're supporting an agenda. And I said I see later on there will be a new judge coming in who's younger, who's more fair. And this is kind of, this judge is, okay, I'm done with this now. For some reason, I see his energy just being like, I'm finished. This is over. And this is his goodbye, you know? So let's look at the text. I did say Taylor was more involved than people are letting on. That she's letting on, I said that. So it was more explicit. Okay, so the media is so effed up. I just cannot with it. They like twist things, and every time I used to want to be a journalist. I used to want to work for CNN and NBC. So when I see this, I think to myself, how glad I am that I listened to my intuition, and I didn't. I didn't follow in the footsteps of these people because they don't report the truth. So, especially in the USA, I don't know what it is. No, not even just the British press does it too, unfortunately. Okay, so I just want to make sure it's fair. I want to read it first before. Sorry, I'm a little unprepared because I had to go back to sleep because I couldn't sleep properly, and I woke up later. Yeah, do you see this NBC? Why am I not surprised? NBC News. Let's try CNN. They say they're trying to be more fair these days. Let's see. The legal basketball team Blake Lively just won has a new star, and it is Taylor Swift. Okay, so this might be fair. I'm just gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. If I'm in the wrong, then I'll find something else. And you can never find like both sides. The left gets it wrong, the right gets it wrong. It's like, guys, just report the news. Don't. That's what I like about Popcorn Planet. He doesn't take political sides. It's just like the news is the news, you know. There's other people too. Impressive came out with a great one. Else Rich has been covering it too. I actually just recorded a video. Hold on, guys. I need to cough. I'm sorry. Just give me a second, please. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, guys. Sorry. It appears as though when the internet has pop-ups. Okay, so I can't. I'll just have to just go back and watch somebody else do it. I'm sorry, guys. My pop-ups keep blocking. Like yesterday, it's blocking the internet because for some reason it's blocking the internet. But also this Mac is really old. I need to get a new one. I have a Mac for. I used to have three, and then I got rid of one. So now I have two. I gave it to a friend, well, a former friend. Sometimes I'm like, why did I give her my Mac? I should have kept it. But I don't like having too many things, you know? So now this one's gotten old, and then, so I have to get a new one. So in the interim, I think because it's old, this is like 6 years old, this Mac. So that other one's 2 years old. So I need to get a new one for my coding. So in the interim, this one is like basically dying on me. But I'll get one soon. Anyways, so that the text messages of me and girl code are terrible. I don't know if I've told you guys a story. Some of you might have followed my channel from the very beginning. When I told everyone that watched at that time that I was very cautious of Sagittarius, Sun and Sagittarius placements. And this is why. I used to have this friend, and I'm going to tell you guys a story, a quick story. If you don't want to listen, you can always jump ahead, or you can leave and come back. But in high school, right, one of my best friends was Sagittarius. And I'm going to tell the full story. I'm going to be naughty, but let me quickly read this comment and I'll come back to the story. I have a feeling it's not going to burn down and her family is too huge. I don't believe that, actually. I actually think this will, because I just did a reading on it. That I'm going to premiere specifically about Taylor and Blake's relationship, and I see it will. It definitely will, because this is the beginning of people coming out. I'm just gonna put it out like that. Anyway, so I have this Sagittarius friend. We basically grew up together. I don't want to give too much about her away because I have kind of moved on, but we grew up together. We still live on the same street. And then I moved to England and I moved back to South Africa, and we stayed very close ever since. Now, aside from that, we always used to have like this girl group. We used to hang out together. I kind of left that girl group because I left that school and when I went to England, but I still kept in contact with her. And I would see the other ones of the girl group, like every now and then they'd have these house parties, So I went to a very girl school, British girl school. We used to have a brother school that was also British. And it was literally across the street from us, across a bridge, excuse me. It sounds kind of weird. But one of my really good friends, who I ended up kind of dating, he went to that school. So we ended up dating before I went to England. And then when I came back, we decided we weren't going to date, we were just going to stay friends. And then when I came back, we ended up having something. Now, at the time, he had started dating one of the girls in the group. So I had fallen for my friend, which was wrong, completely wrong, that we had dated before and we were like falling for each other, even though he was still with somebody else. So it was completely wrong on my end and I didn't know what to do with it, completely wrong. I want to say that. So I went to her. She was the only person I told. And I said to her, I don't know what to do, because she was my best friend at the time. I was like, I'm falling for this guy. And I told her everything. In the beginning, I didn't tell anybody because he was my other best friend. So I had two best friends. One of them was her. The other one was him. And I was like, I'm falling for this guy. And we're always together. We used to spend every weekend together. He would see his girlfriend like a third of the time that I saw him. We would talk every day. It was very clear something was going on. So I told her everything because she would say to me, why do you guys always hang out together and all this kind of stuff? And we would text every time, back when we had flip phones still. And I would invite him to things and he would always come over because we lived on the same street before. And then I would always end up at her house. I basically used to live at her house. So he said to me, I said to her, I told her everything. And I confessed. And I was like, we're in love. Oh, I'm in love with him. And I don't know what to do because I know he's with her. And it's like very complicated, And she basically I don't want to take words out of her mouth because I don't fully remember what she said. But she was like, "Oh my gosh, if you're in love, like you need to make, not necessarily make it happen, but she was not telling me what I was doing was wrong, even though I knew what I was doing was wrong, completely wrong. So to my face, she would act like, oh, you're human, don't beat yourself up about it. And then to other people, I found out she was telling the story. She even went to the girl and told her. So I found out that she went to her and told her. She stopped talking to me. I went to the girl and I confessed and I was like, I'm so sorry. She forgave me. And I told her, I was like, I fell in love with him. I felt like I was under a spell. I don't know what it was, but he ended up going to college, and then they both ended up going to college because they were a year older than I was. And I stayed and I went to high school. Such a stupid story. But in a nutshell, I saw how shady Sagittarius can be. Mean girls. And I remember the last time we properly spoke about it, she stopped talking to me, right? And then I went to her one day and I just had enough because I'm a very upfront person. I always have been. That's just my personality. And I went to her and I was like, why would you do that? And she flipped it around and she basically was like, what did you expect me to do? And I was like, whoa, you're mean. I was so taken aback that it shocked me, Even though I was in the wrong, I admit that. But as a friend, if your friend does something wrong, tell them to their face. Don't tell them to their face. Just like when I was reading these text messages, I got the same energy. Like how, I forgot her name, Taylor was speaking. Because, it's funny, this girl actually has a boy's name too. I'm like, I don't want to say her name. How, right. Let me not say her name. I'm trying so hard not saying it. How Taylor was speaking to Blake was like how my friend spoke to me, like the gaslighting when she was like, oh, if you haven't read the text, go read the text, come back, or just wait till the end of the live. But how she spoke to her brought back memories because I was like, that's how my Sagittarius friend spoke to me. She completely like made me feel dumb and stupid. And I was like, wow, 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 wow. So Sagittarius can be like that. They can be very two-faced. They can be very sneaky. Even the men, even though I have a soft spot for Sagittarius, my favorite ex Sagittarius, I feel like he grew out of it. The older they get, and I say this all the time, Sagittarius, they kind of blame everybody else, and then when it's time for them to take accountability, they have to be forced to do so. And then they do. It's kind of like their life ends up in shambles. And then they're like, okay, now I need to take accountability. So I think that's what's going to happen with Taylor. Her life's going to end up in shambles, unfortunately. And then she's going to take accountability. But it just brought back like high school memories of the whole situation. I was like, because clearly what Blake is doing is wrong, Similarly to what I did, it was wrong. But a friend is supposed to tell you to your face, you are doing wrong. Not like, if you want to distance yourself from that friend, that's fine. But don't act like, oh yeah, it's exactly like how she behaved with me. Exactly. Yeah, he's in the wrong. You deserve to be together. No, like all that kind of stuff, like pumping me up, pumping Blake up, and then disappears. And then when you feel that person's gone, you're like, hey, where were you? You're my best friend. Now you're gone. So I just had to say that I relate, even though Blake is in the wrong. As humans, we can be in the wrong sometimes. The degree of wrong varies. Yes, I can't have enablers in my life. The difference with this was that number one, we were in high school. Number two, I'm not talking because they seem very high school. Blake and crew. But the difference was it wasn't even enabling, it was using. And Sagittarius can be big users, like big. She was using me to have a friend because I actually looked back and I thought about it. I remember I was 17, it was 20 years ago. at 17, 18 at the time. And I remember just lying in bed and I was crying because I had nobody, and I was in the wrong. I admit that. But so was he. So was he, and he never got any kind of icing out. They ended up being friends, and we go. And I was like, "What is happening?" I've just been iced out by my best friend. She doesn't even talk to me. She didn't even tell me she's gonna tell people the secret that I told her, and it's very Regina George. It's very Regina George. If you don't know what Regina George is, it's a reference to Mean Girls. She's like the head Mean Girl, that kind of manipulates everybody and plays with people's minds. And I just remember lying in bed and I was just crying. I remember I just cried. I couldn't stop crying because I was like, everybody's gone around me. And when you're in high school, it's like I never got bullied really. People used to make fun of my lips and stuff like that, but I didn't really care. But that was such a monumental time for me. I was stunned. I was really stunned that it made me stay away from Sagittarius for a while because I was like, if there's another Sagittarius like that, keep me away from them, please. Because it was a lot. Obviously not all Sagittarius are like that, but they do have a mean girl streak unless they humble themselves, and yeah, it was just very traumatic. But so it just reminded me of that. So basically the text have been revealed, and it's looking bad for everybody except for Justin Baldoni. He's the only one that comes out on the other side. So let's start with him. Unless anybody has something to say, I'm going to pull some cards. Tomorrow, by the way, quickly, like I said, I have plans in the evening. During the day, if I'm not feeling like really bad, hope I get better. I've been getting better. So 3 p.m. I'm going to go live. And we're going to do Johnny Depp live. I might do members only lives too. We'll see how that goes. Just some of the lives take up a lot of time, which is fine. I love doing them. It's just that I haven't really had time to do the members only lives too. So just letting you know that. Okay, so Justin Baldoni. We'll start with him and his energy. I'm using the Crystal Magic Tarot. Oh, does somebody have something to say? Oh, okay, sounds good. Thank you, Didi. I appreciate you. As if I feel better. I've been getting better. Just last night I couldn't sleep because my nose was just congested. What's your experience with Sagittarius been? I'm curious. Does anybody Sagittarius have anything to say? Because I remember when I first told this story on my channel, a lot of people agreed with me, and I got a lot of comments saying, "Oh yeah, they can be like that." My favorite cousin is Sagittarius, so I don't want to. Well, he's a guy. It's different. I feel like I get along way more with the Sagittarius men. But two of my favorite colleagues are Sagittarius, so let me not say that. But like I said, when they get older, they grow out of it. They grow out of the drama, the victim drama. So let's get into it. But Blake is not innocent. I'm just talking about Taylor. That I see through her. I always have. Swifties that come from me, I don't care. Because I just see through her. I see through the acting all nice in public. Because my friend was like her. I don't know if she still is. But my friend was like her. Would give away things. She was always so generous with me. So when she flipped on me, I felt guilty. It took me like a year to realize I was in the wrong about the guy, but the situation, I wasn't. It took me a year to fully comprehend what happened. But anyways, let's pull Justin Baldoni's energy, current energy, and future. Okay, wow. So with the Devil, King of Cups, and Nine of Wands. So he still feels some kind of shame. He's really working on himself right now, which is good. I gave the advice to leave Hollywood, and I'm not saying he took my advice, but he took advice to leave Hollywood. He's in Nashville, I believe, right now, and I'm happy for him, very happy for him. I think that Hollywood is just it's not a place for people that are genuine and sincere. It's just not. You're always going to be the outside in the room. You're always going to be, it's just not the kind of place you know. So with his future being Nine of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, and Page of Swords. So he's going to have to start all over again. But it's almost like it was burned for it to start again. And then when he does it again, he's gonna start. Wait for it. I think it's gonna be done. Honestly, it's just kind of sad, but in a good way. He's gonna start anew. I see him working with content creators. I see him doing fun things. He's going to get. I said this before. I see an image of him accepting an award and saying thank you. He's gonna have like a buzz cut with a suit and saying thank you everybody who supported me, and he's gonna be very emotional, very very emotional, and I get it, totally understand. So yeah, that's what I see about Justin. I mean, I wish him only the best. And people were like, he does come across fake. I get that. You know, people say that about me too. Aquarius, sometimes we can come across fake. If we're happy people, I don't know why the world expects us to not be happy. But we just like to not wear heavy things, you know. We like to not be jaded. I've seen in my personal life how jaded Aquarius can be, and I've made an effort in my life to not be like that. And I think Justin is similar, where he's seen what jaded things, like he's seen people become jaded. So I won't let the world wear me down, you know. Um, and when you're like that, life will test you. Test you. So I wish him only the best. We are rooting for you, Justin. We really, really are. Okay, so let's get into who's next. Blake Lively. So her current energy and future energy. I'm using the Lightyear's Tarot. Wow. This is intense. Oh. I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan is going to file any day now. Any day now. Two of Pentacles, Six of Swords, and Ten of Wands. Moving. She's going to go back to LA. Queen of Swords. I wouldn't be surprised. So I see herself. She's going to distance herself, and then he's going to file. Didn't somebody say, Brianna, I think it was you, that they saw there was like a headline of Ryan going to see lawyers, divorce attorneys? Is that what I saw? But I've said this, my prediction from day one, which was 2 years ago, well, 1.5 years ago. He was it 1.5 years? 2024. Blake is going to, Ryan is going to find a younger replacement to Blake. She's in her late 20s. And when he does, Blake is out. When Blake finally leaves, well, when Ryan leaves Blake is going to say, he made me do it. Speaking about Ryan. That's what I see happening very, very strongly. So let's see her future energy. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. She's going back to LA. This is intuitive based, not fact based. I'm usually accurate. I see her going back in April. She's going to go back to LA. Seven of Swords. She's going to go like into hiding. Knight of Cups. And we're going to see little things. She's going to bake on Instagram. She's going to start like a little baking thing, like a baking vlog with her kids, Three of Pentacles. And she's going to be like, yeah, I'm busy doing this, I'm busy doing that. Just to avoid. She's going to have a lot of anxiety. She was baking with a donut thing. She's going to do another version of that somewhere else. It's gonna be in LA. She's gonna move back to LA. I also see Riverside, something to do with Riverside, California. Yeah, maybe her parents live there actually. But yeah. So let's move on to Ryan Reynolds. Everybody's so quiet. When he's a pixels, a little terror. Ryan Reynolds, current energy. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if there's already another woman in the picture. King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, and the Moon. So secretly, I wouldn't be surprised if there's somebody else. Has anybody seen them recently together? Like, and I don't keep up with, you know how I am, guys. I don't keep up with this kind of stuff. I only really keep up with this because it takes over basically my basic like For You page. Whenever something drops about it, because I've been following from the beginning, and I find it interesting. A lot of reality TV people are into this too, so that makes it easier to keep up with. Because usually I'm the worst with this kind of stuff. The worst. Page of Swords. So he's going to debut a new relationship soon. I said by October 2026. We're going to hear about him with a new woman. Younger. Blake is... I wouldn't be surprised if it's Sydney Sweeney. The image I got looks like her. That's not good. Blake is going to have a nervous breakdown, in my opinion. It's not necessarily a nervous breakdown, but she's going to suffer a lot from anxiety. She's going to fall into deep depression. Deep depression. She's going to have trouble getting out of bed. Stuff like that. So let's see for the future for Ryan. I just dropped my cards. These cards are so slippery. I'm going to use different set of cards. I don't want them to slip again. Alright. I'm using Muse Tarot. Literally, just put on the floor. I don't feel like getting them right now. Okay, let's see. Ryan Reynolds. Future. Okay, wow. So I got lots of reverse cards, the Hermit in reverse, Four of Pentacles in reverse, and I did check the cards before I shuffle them, the wheel. He's going to act, and the Strength card at the bottom of the deck, he's going to act like he's getting his life together, but he's really not. He's very dangerous. Very dangerous. I think out of all of them, the most dangerous person, two most dangerous people are Ryan and Taylor. Just gonna let you know that. That's why they're gonna be friends. Ryan uses Blake. I said this before from day one. I said Blake is Ryan's puppet. You know, like ventriloquists, they go like this, but then they're moving the mouth of a puppet. She remembers lines, she remembers things that he's supposed to say, that she's supposed to say, that he's told her to say. He emotionally, and she's gonna come out, she's gonna talk about it. It doesn't mean that you take out how you feel on somebody else like Justin. I told this story about roommates that I had before. And I had, go back and watch, we're just gonna do like, touch on it. But I had these roommates that I lived with. They were a couple. I think she was actually a Scorpio. No, she was a Capricorn. Ugh, cause it's like, there's no way she was a Scorpio. I don't have bad rapport. Like, I usually have a good excuse me, with Scorpio women. I've never had really an issue with Scorpio women. She was a Capricorn, which clocks. But anyways, so she, her and her husband, well, fiance, because he was like engaged to her, she was clinging on to this guy, right? I was 19, it was my first apartment in New York by myself, I was living with roommates, and the guy started to have a crush on me. Mind you, he was like 37, and if I think about me, I'm about to be 37 in 2 weeks. Me having a crush on a 19-year-old is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. But he became infatuated with me. She found out, and then I became the problem. So I think that is what happened in this situation. Blake had a crush on Justin. You know when you're immature, Blake is very immature. You know when you're a kid, you're immature. The guy you're like, he's so dumb, he's so ugly, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But you go home, like, hey Arnold, Angelica, she's like rude to Arnold because she has a huge crush on him. That's what I think happened. I think Blake had a huge crush on Justin, and Ryan suspected it. And I saw an image of her on the phone, like flirting with him, and he heard it. And ever since then, he wanted to see the dailies. He wanted to be on tour. He wanted to be on set. He wanted everything to do with the film through Blake because he didn't want Blake to leave her. It was going to come out. Because like we always say, the truth comes out. It's going to come out that he had a hold over her and Blake wanted to leave. She was testing the water to see if she was ready to leave the relationship, or to see if Justin, because that's how she's met all of her exes, most of her exes, on set. She's flirted with them, it's worked, but he has a beautiful wife, he's in love with his wife, but she thought it would work. She thought it would work, and then it didn't, it backfired, Ryan found out, and then she had resentment towards the fact that Justin didn't like her. So, yeah. That's what I think. So we're going to hear later on in everything, we're going to hear, she's going to do I see it's W Magazine. That's what I see. It doesn't have to necessarily be that. But I see, because W Magazine uses like a Chuck Close type. Chuck Close used to be self-portrait artist, where he would do like really close-ups of people in black and white. And I see an image like that being used. And it says in writing, he made me do it. And it's going to say in quotation marks. And then alongside it, it's going to say, Blake speaks about her ex. So stay tuned for that, because, wow, karma, yeah. That's the thing about Hollywood. You see all these people, and you just think, who do you think you are that you're above Hollywood? I used to follow, I still do sometimes, I just haven't really been into astrology like that recently, but one of my mentors about astrology, his name is Santos Bonacci, and he has this theory that Hollywood is taken over by the god of Lucifer, who is Narcissus. It's the story about Narcissus, the person that fell in love with his own reflection, and he was obsessed with himself. He couldn't, he was so obsessed with himself that he could do no wrong. He would look at himself all day long, and everybody would talk to him. And so just look up the story about Narcissus. He says that Hollywood embodies that energy, and he's very right. And when you have this energy of, I look great so I can do no wrong, it's coming for you. Karma is coming directly for you, because that's not the way life is. You can pay attention to yourself. I love to wear makeup, I like to do my hair, I like to work out, feel good, look good. But when it consumes you, that is a problem. That's a big problem. Okay, so let's move on. We're going to move on to Taylor and Travis. Okay, so let's see. Should I use... I'm going to use the Modern Watch Tarot. This one. And I just recorded Taylor and Blake's friendship. So just check that out. I'm editing it right now as we speak. My phone is editing it. So check it out. Let's see. Current energy. Taylor and Travis. I saw his comment section. Wow, they were showing it on Billy Bush's mics. Hot mics. It's terrible. Really terrible. Okay. So, Travis is gonna try to get out. I don't even think Travis realized. This one, I don't think realized. Everybody else clearly knew. But he is like, what? 2 of Swords, the Magician, and 10 of Swords. He's like shocked, like, whoa, who am I in bed with? You know that movie, Sleeping with the Enemy? That's how he feels. Well, intuitively, when I pick up. Wow, he wants out of this. And you know, people would say to me, I have Swifties right on my comment section. Swifties, I don't care. You can come for me all you want, all day, all long. I don't care. At the end of the day, I'll go on and live a happy life. As soon as I switch this off, deal with any trolls, I'm going to live my merry life. I'll forget about you. And you'll still be miserable. Like all these people that are rooting for Taylor, she doesn't even care about you. She doesn't know who you are. You know? Really? Like, go live a good life. Say it with my friends. I was surprised. No. Say it with me, friends. Excuse me. No. No. So he's going to try to get out of this contract. I've been saying, I had an ex that was a publicist. I'm not going to say his name because it's very private. And not just him. Other people too have told me how SEO works. Search engine optimization. How these stuff works. People are like, she doesn't need more followers. No, but she has to keep up a brand. She has to keep up a brand. And how does she do that? I've highly suspected that this is the beginning. I think I might have said it in this video or this live or the video that I recorded. This is the beginning of people coming forward. Joe Alwyn is going to come forward with stories about Taylor Swift. And when he does, it's going to be the point that people are going to pay for his legal fees to get out of any kind of NDA he has with her. Because they were going to want to hear the truth about who she really is. He's going to tell the truth. And that's why I believe Travis has been used as a marketing strategy to protect her from her SEO and her brand being ruined. If you look at Taylor Swift right now, you don't see any real pop-ups. If you Google or look up on the search engine Taylor Swift, you don't see anything to do with this. Why? You only see Taylor and Travis. It's because of what I'm talking about. She's optimized her SEO by inundating us with Taylor and Travis things. She's very smart. It's almost like wicked smart. But she has millions of dollars behind her of marketing. I've been feeling that Joe's going to explode 100%. I predicted that. When they broke up, I said, one day he's going to tell the truth. And that's going to be her come to Jesus moment. This, I think, has put a dent. So I disagree with you a little bit, Miss J. It's put a dent on her career. But when Joe Alwyn comes forward, everybody's going to be like, what? She's that mean? Yeah, I see him doing an interview where he's sitting on a couch. It might be with Call Her Daddy, might be with something like that. But he's going to come forward. He's going to do an interview. I see him speaking out loud, saying she was very abusive. Let me not say that word on YouTube. She was very abusive, and people are going to be stunned. He's going to even have like evidence corroborating. I see it, but it's gonna come out. And I see him wearing like a brown suit when he does it, like a brown jacket type. Not to take you off track, but can you give us your thoughts on who Taylor Swift is? What do you mean by who Taylor Swift is? You mean like how I describe my friend, my backstabbing friend, that she is. That's why I say this Taylor Swift always have, because I had a friend like that growing up, and we spent so much time together. I saw her flaws, and not to go on about people's flaws because I have them too, but it's like Regina George, that she deflects, and then one day she's going to have, Joe is going to come forward. I'm telling you. And that's going to be the moment she changes. She gets rid of her dad, because her dad protects her a lot. We're 6 of Wands, Empress, and the Moon. Travis is done. Travis is like, you're a psycho. I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, yo, what is wrong with you? Confronting her. Oh, wow. So, I showed you guys, I don't know, Brianne, I'm sure you were here for this live, because you're here for every live. I'm so grateful for you. Miss J, I think you were here too, honestly. And I showed Watch What Happens Live. I showed, and I can't believe that's her father. Guys, my head cold is like, oh my god, I'm forgetting words and all that kind of stuff. So please bear with me. But her ex, the British guy, not Joe, the one she dated after. What's his name again? The one from 1975. His mother is a host on a show, and I didn't know that's his mother because I grew up watching that show. It's a morning show. It's called Woman. It's on ITV in the UK. And when I lived in the UK, I used to watch it a lot, almost every morning. And she said that she was asked by Andy Cohen, what does he think about Matt Healy? That's his name. Thank you so much. Her name's like Dorothy Healy or something like that. I don't know if that's his mother, but now when I see, they actually look alike. Because I used to really like 1975. I really love one of their songs. Really love one of their songs. They played it at Soul Cycle. I was so obsessed with it. I listened to it over and over and over again. I forgot the name of the song because on my brain right now, but I really like that song. And she came out. Andy Cohen said, "What do you think about your ex kind of daughter-in-law who Matt dated?" She was like, "Well, everybody else can speak, except she can speak, but they can't because they signed NDAs. That's not fair." And I was like, this is the beginning. No, when you mention Joe Owen, you always say, oh. Well, I'm just explaining. Let me finish reading your question. No, when you mention Joe Owen, you always say he knows who the real Taylor Swift is. Yes. Just like I'm explaining about my high school friend, that when we were alone together, she revealed things to me, her insecurities, her flaws, how she was able to backstab, and it took time for me to see the truth. That's what Joe is going to say about her. That at the time, I thought she was a victim. I thought she was in the right, and I realized that she was actually not necessarily in the wrong, but she was also to blame for our breakup. She was also to blame for, I say this all the time about Taylor Swift, is that people are like, oh, she makes herself a victim. I mean, she's always victimized, She makes herself that victim. I love some of her music, a lot of her music. Midnights, I really love. I love that album. But these albums where she's just constantly saying that the guy did this to her, the guy did that to her. I love her romance stuff too, like when she's falling in love. But when it comes to accountability, she never takes it. She never takes it. We're the same age, And I can't imagine a life of no accountability. It's just not, we're almost 40. In 3 years, I'm going to be 40. And she hasn't taken accountability for any ex situation publicly that she's had. That's not okay. I'm like, other than being mean, what else is there? But you already said it. Yep. He's going to come out and talk about it. And it's going to shock the world. It's going to be like, Guru, like those cartoons. And in the next 2 years, it's going to be kind of cathartic for him to just get it off his chest. Because, in British culture, I tell people this all the time. British culture, you don't really talk about it. It's kind of like frowned upon to speak ill. I think that's why sometimes I don't really speak ill about my exes, even though one of them is quite a menace to society. I don't really want to go there because, in British culture, I went to British school. South African culture is very British based, even though I'm not British. I tell people that a lot. But it's looked down upon if you tell your truth. It's like, what's wrong with you? And that's why I don't like living in England, because that kind of culture of secrets and not being able to stand up for yourself is how people get away with things. It is, and it makes you sick. It makes you feel vulnerable. It makes you feel like it's not good. You need to be able to say how you feel and give your perspective. I'll be watching that interview that Joe does. But I'm telling you, it's coming out. And I think that was the main reason why she got Travis to begin with. But now with everything else that's going on, he's been her shield. I've said this, go back and watch my 3 years ago, because I still lived in my old apartment when I said this. When Joe comes forward, it's going to be intense. Are fans going to start burning the merch when that info comes out? Let's see. I use the license tarot. And you guys remember me when I say that. When you see that, you'll be like, she predicted it. Not that I'm like all that, but I'm just saying. When you have a conversation with somebody and you're like, whoa, I remember this conversation. It's crazy that it's unfolding. You can see he's even like I said this, he's starting to make appearances at the Golden Globes, stuff like that. Basically, when he comes out, other people, okay, so he's going to be married when he comes out. The Empress, Temperance, and Page of Wands. He's going to have moved on completely. And it's going to help him because the Taylor people can't say, the Swifties can't say, oh, well, he's just bitter that she's happy. Because he's going to move on. He's going to be in a relationship, strong relationship. And she's going to encourage him to come forward and tell his truth. He might even write a book. Queen of Swords, Fire, Wands, Nine of Cups. But we're going to know. Then, after he comes out, it's going to be the beginning. Other people are going to come forward. Other people are going to come forward and just lay it out. She's going to be... I don't see people burning. People are just going to be like shocked. I get the image. Mean Girls, where after the whole chaos happens and she throws around everything. I probably shouldn't be... If you haven't seen Mean Girls, don't listen to this. Because it is a spoiler alert. But in Mean Girls, when everything's done and it's just like chaos. After the chaos, after the jungle, after everybody fighting, that's the energy I pick up. That it's just going to be like, wow. She might even move. She might move to another country. Like Australia, somewhere or Hawaii. Hawaii's not another country, but it's U.S. territory. Nine of Swords, Judgment, and she's gonna move somewhere else. Wow. But this is the beginning. That's why I tell, when I started doing these videos, because I know that some celebrities do watch my stuff. I've been reached out to, not that it's all that, but I just want to say, if you are in the public eye and you've done somebody wrong and you haven't apologized and they come forward with the story, it's not a lie, they come forward with the story, because some people do lie, I want to say that. Just say sorry. Just say sorry, because if they have evidence against you, you're going down. No matter who you are. This is the age of Aquarius. And now the underdog wins. No more big corporations winning, none of that. From this moment onwards, with technology, with everything, the underdog has the advantage. You won't be believed anymore. So come clean, completely clean, like what Johnny Depp did in the trial. He came completely clean, everything, his substance use, everything. Just come clean, make right with God, and that's it. Or your higher power, whatever your higher power is. Be honest, say what you did wrong. That's it. Release it. People will forgive you because you're being honest. So that's what I have for you guys. If you have any more questions, it's been so fun to do. I'm so happy for Justin. I really am. His better days are ahead of him. And I've said this before, a lesson for him to learn is to let go of the perfectionism. You know, I used to struggle with that too. As an Aquarius, I used to feel like I had to be perfect and say the right thing, which kind of comes across fake. I think that's why people label us as fake. But it comes from an intention that he doesn't want to rock the boat or be wrong, you know? But in life, you're going to be wrong sometimes. It doesn't make you a bad person. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to be wrong. You're going to F up. It doesn't make you a wrong person. It doesn't make you a bad person. You're just learning. People can tell when you're tiptoeing around others. And people like Blake, Ryan, Taylor, they take advantage of those that are tiptoeing around others to make others feel at peace, you know? If you're a good person, you don't have to tiptoe around anybody. Always have fun. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. I have so much fun doing these lives. Especially since I've been doing like 2-3 a week. It's been so much fun. I'm very grateful for you all. And I'm very grateful. I told you guys this. I got a new job and I love my job. I love my colleagues. And it's allowed me to stay home when I need to sometimes and be with you guys. So I'm really, really grateful. Yeah, really, really grateful. So I want to love you guys and leave you guys because I really have to get up early tomorrow. I really couldn't sleep last night because I was so congested. I need to steam my nose again. I have to keep steaming my nose, but it's okay. So I'm feeling a lot better. Honestly, I did it to myself. I just need to get a proper jacket for when I get home after work because that's when I get sick. I haven't been sick like this. I mean, sick consecutively 3 times. At least the first time I feel like I was really like gone. But these past 2 times it's been a head cold. But even so, it's like I procrastinate. I don't really do things I'm supposed to. Except today I started my new app, which I'm excited about. You'll hear about it soon. After I launch this current one, you'll hear about my new app soon. But it's just hard to get things done when you're congested, you know? So it's hard to have memory. I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing again? What's that person's name? So, yeah. So anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you everybody for joining. I'm very grateful to have you all. Tomorrow, I'm shooting for 3 p.m. because I have plans in the evening, like I said. So I want to have enough time to get ready before I go out at night. So I'm going to do 3 p.m. live. It's going to be Johnny Depp live as he won the poll again. I've been doing these polls. They've been so fun. So if you want to compete in the polls or get your input in the polls, become a subscriber, excuse me, so that you get my community posts often. So everyone, thank you again. Thank you. I love you all. And yeah, stay tuned. I do have 3 apps on the Apple Store if you want to support my works that I do. All of them except for 2 of them have a free trial. So if you want to join, I would highly appreciate it. Or share it to somebody that has an Apple phone, an Apple Watch too. So I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.